It is currently November 16th, 2022, and yesterday I felt like everybody and their mother was posting about how obsessed they were with Taylor Swift, that she's launching her concert. They were either mad at Ticketmaster or they were so excited and posting about how they're going to the Taylor Swift concert in the next year. So what can we learn about Taylor Swift? This woman is a phenomenal launcher. And I think there's some takeaways that we can take here. So in this video, I'm going to show you my tips after having done 40 plus websites on how to properly launch your website so that it can attract the ideal client right off the bat and gain the SEO. So there are some things that you can do prior to ever launching your first website or launching the overhaul of your website that would help you to really have a launch that is a successful launch. So let's go back to Taylor Swift. And one thing that she does phenomenally well is having her tribe. I think they're called Swifties. They adore her and they post on their stories so everyone feels like they're missing out on Taylor Swift concert even if they're not a Taylor Swift fan. Another entrepreneur who I feel has done a really good job is Caitlin James. She's a wedding photographer and she has named her brides KJ Brides. So when somebody becomes a KJ Bride, they feel like they're a part of this community. They post about it. Like, she doesn't even need to do the work because people are so excited and they are posting about how they're a KJ bride or going to be a KJ bride. And so if she were to, let's say, decide to do 20% off her elopement packages, you better believe every single one of her past brides are probably going to post, KJ bride, Caitlin's doing a sale of 20% off. Like, she doesn't even have to do the work. She doesn't even have to pay them for affiliate marketing. She's just getting them to do this for her because they loved her, they loved the experience, and they feel like they're a part of that tribe. So that would be the first thing I would do, is try to see how you can create a community or a tribe, whether that's on Facebook groups or whatever it is. Second of all, serve your people with content prior. So if you are primarily on Instagram, this is providing some really, really valuable content on Instagram, whether it's scrolling, those scrolling graphics or reels. If you have a blog and you're looking to, upgrade your website, blogging is not dead. I will say that over and over again. And so continue to serve your people with great blog posts that are relevant to the content that your website will be talking about. So if you're doing a pivot in your business, start to blog about that. Start to blog about why, if you're going to become a yoga instructor, why they need yoga, how that's going to improve their mobility, whatever it is. Start to blog, start to publish that content. Not only will that help you gain SEO on your old website, but it also is something where you're serving them so that when you launch your website, they'll be like, I know there's valuable content there. I'm going to head on over there. Number 3, build your email list with a freebie. I know that this is seems weird to build your email list prior to maybe ever having a website, but you actually don't need a website in order to build your email list. On Flowdesk, which I use, I'll link it below for 50% off if that's something you want to try. You can have a landing page, and it's not obviously interchangeable with a website, but you can create a landing page that talks a little bit about you and then offers you freebies. So you can start to grow that email list so that when you are then launching your new website and you push it out to your email list, that's going to be the highest conversion across the board. Anytime you launch, a course or anything, email list has the best conversion rate. So same with your website. They're the most likely, because they're your people, they're the most likely to actually go look at your website when you launch it. So that would be the next step is that I would suggest. And a great way to build your email list is to provide some type of freebie. That's just across the board what you hear. A lot of people aren't just going to give you their email for no reason. Next, acknowledge the pain points of the client and any objections that they may have, because again, you're showing them you are a leader in the industry, right? You are somebody that has valuable information. Again, so that when you launch your website, they're like, I know this website will have some really great information on it, whether it's through the blog or maybe you're trying to direct them to your services. If you're acknowledging those pain points now on whatever platform you're primarily on, you will then have that beneficial return on your investment where people will actually want to go to your website once you launch it. All right, tip number 5, set some goals or metrics. What are you wanting to accomplish when you launch your website? Whether that's, I really want to get 5 viewers on my website, or I want to get 15 new email subscribers. Set that goal ahead of time because it helps you show that you've done something, and that your website is actually converting for you. So that is a great next step, is just creating some goals and some metrics that will then show that you had a successful website launch. All right, number 6, create some stellar Instagram story graphics. that just say, hey, my website launching in 3 days, it's launching in 2 days, it's launching in 1 day. You're building that anticipation, you're getting people excited, maybe even give them like a preview of your website, scrolling in the background or whatever it is. That would be my next step. And then number 7, kind of going along with if you're on Instagram, is plan on doing some type of live training. I know that sometimes they're really intimidating because you'll have like 7 people and you're like, this is so pointless. But live trainings are up and down whether people do them, and depending on like the era of Instagram, I guess. But I think that there's still something that is very valuable in providing some type of training that then directs them to your website. So maybe you provide a training about SEO and then say, hey, if you want to get the checklist for what I've just said, head on over to the website. So plan some live videos or trainings. And then number 8, my final tip is to make sure that your website is SEO optimized. So one of the things that might sound kind of like a weird thing to suggest, because if you know anything about search engine optimization, it is a long-term game, and we're talking about a launch. But here's the thing, if you haven't gone in and you haven't changed like the description, the title description, or like the meta description, it might sometimes like people like their about page, for example, the title might be, 1, 2, 3, or some weird things like that will happen as you're creating your website. And so just making sure that those titles of those pages are actually optimized so that when people land on your website, they're not looking at, with Squarespace, a lot of times I'll see general-1 as like a homepage title. So just go in, make sure that's all optimized so that people aren't like kind of appalled by it a little bit. If you need more SEO tips, I'm going to link a video below that talks about SEO, and then I also have a great 3-day SEO training that will guide you through how to get your website, whether you're on Squarespace, Showit, whatever it is, set up for SEO, and so that when you launch your website, you are ready to go and you are ready to start gaining that traction from Google or whatever the search engine is. I hope you found this video helpful, and make sure to comment below with any type of questions you guys have about launching. I'd be happy to answer.